Good evening and welcome to Unscripted Counselors with Cris and Kellie. How you doing, Kel?
Tired but good. How are you?
Tired but good. It's evening and I'm ready to go to bed, but let's have this chat that I've been
Yes.
looking forward to all week.
Yes. What are you going to tell me? Because I don't even know what we're talking about.
Well, quickly I was going to go, yay, episode 3.
Yay! Episode 3. Hello to everyone who's listening
Yes, and
and
hello.
watching
Yes.
on
And
YouTube.
also, I just wanted to quickly encourage anyone who's listening, if there's a topic they'd like us to discuss, to please email or comment, and we will address in potentially the next video or depending on how many we get over time. Just because it helps us come up with what we're going to talk about, and it also tells us what you want to hear about.
Yes, that's the one that's important. We might be,
Exactly.
talking about stuff that no one worries about.
Exactly. Like we might worry about it, but I mean, other people do.
That's it.
So most of the time, if you were worried about something, there is someone else that's worried about it.
That is very true. There's no
So,
such thing as a stupid question, as they say.
exactly.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. All right.
So, Cal, you gave us a topic for last week.
I did. Don't get
So,
any warning, though. I don't get any warning. I don't know what we're talking about. Okay,
um,
you're doing good.
so I had the thought of we could talk about what the role of a step parent is. Because there is a lot of stigmas and there are published literature. That's literature, that's the word I was looking for, out there, and it it does a lot of one size fits all.
It does.
And in my experience, it is not one size fits all.
It's not.
It's not. So one of the main descriptors that I've come across is that the role of a step parent is to do your best to have a respectful relationship with your partner's ex and supporting your ex while not being a parent.
Ooh, that is tricky.
Mm. And
It's tricky.
and when you look at it that way, you can understand why so many people struggle being a step parent.
Maybe they should stop calling it a step parent.
I don't actually use that in my house. I say step parent because that's the term that's used within society and
Society.
literature. I actually have bonus kids,
I
and
have heard you say that.
yes, I use that term quite frequently. I call them my bonus because I get to love them without having to have birthed them.
That's a very good reason why.
I didn't enjoy being pregnant personally with my own. I'm not a very happy pregnant woman. But I've got these bonus kids that I get to love so much and be a part of their lives. And I didn't have to go to hospital and birth them.
Or go through that, terrible 2 stage or
Yes.
the newborn
Yes.
baby stage, which is so cute
Yeah,
and so lovable.
mm,
It is nice, but gee, that's hard work.
it is. Because I know when my partner and I got together, my youngest was still in nappies, and he quite enjoyed when she had a stinky. He's like, here you go, not my problem.
Yeah.
He loved it. He thought it was great.
I
He's like,
can
no,
see
I
why.
did my miles with my pair. I'm like, fair enough.
Not yours. That's not my responsibility. It's
Yeah,
yours. Your mum.
exactly.
Mm.
And like we were talking last week about social media and the types of groups that are out there, there's a lot of terms floating around as well
Okay.
on styles on how to deal with step parenting. And one of the terms that it took me ages to try and figure it out, I ended up having to Google it, is nacho parenting.
Nacho parent.
Nacho. So it runs along the lines of not your kid, not your problem.
Okay. So is this like in the Urban Dictionary of nacho parenting? Is that where we'll find
There is
nacho
actually
parenting?
a
The Urban
book.
Dictionary?
I found out there is actually a book written on it. I'm not sure about coining. I haven't found a lot of literature on it because it's very new.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So there's not a lot of,
Absolutely.
I haven't been able to find a whole lot at the moment. I haven't done an extensive search either. So,
Yes.
but it kind of blew my mind because it was you aren't involved in making decisions for the child within the household that you live in, or you are essentially a glorified babysitter
Oh,
for when the birth
see,
parent isn't there.
disclaimer, I'm not a step parent.
Yeah.
So this is something that I have often thought, how would I handle the things?
Mm,
And, but yeah, it comes up for me in the sense of how would I want a partner to be with my children?
exactly. And I'm quite lucky. I can see both sides of the coin
Yeah.
because I am a mum and I'm also the stepmom. So when I've gone into my stepmom role, when that phase of my life started, I very much approached it of how would I feel in their mother's shoes.
Mm.
That's how I put it myself.
And of
And
course, that's the dream, of course, is if somebody can do that.
exactly. And it's like in my situation, I'm quite lucky for quite a while. I don't feel like my bonus kid's mum liked me,
Yeah.
but we were civil and we were nice. We
Yeah.
never spoke bad about anyone. That's one of the rules. We don't speak bad about other parties, no matter
Of
what they're
course.
doing,
Of
especially in front of
course.
kids,
Of course. Yes.
because that's their other
Important.
parent. That person means a lot to that child. We don't
Absolutely.
destroy that. Um, but we're at a point where we're civil. I can send a message with an update if it's the day they're going back to theirs and I've dropped the kids off at school. There was one morning, my stepson, he literally fell out of the car. Like he tripped on his bag and fell out of the car. So his pride was quite wounded.
Yes.
Um, and then there was another incident earlier in the morning that the older one's swim bag wouldn't attach to the her school bag properly because it meant it was another bag she was carrying around.
Mm.
And I've sent a message through to the mum, and the mum's gone, sounds like a couple of drama queens this morning. Sounds like you had a fun morning. Like we were able to have that laugh and that sort of thing, but it was also giving them a heads up they might be in a mood this afternoon.
Yeah.
Um, which is really nice. We're lucky. Like my situation, I feel very, very fortunate because I'm able to do that. And then on the other side, I'm able to communicate with my ex-husband's new wife, and I get sent photos. Like last time they had my pair, one of them got an award on parade that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got a
That's awesome.
photo of it,
That's awesome.
which is awesome. Like that probably wouldn't have happened 12 months ago.
Yeah.
It took time to get to this stage, but it's great to finally be there. Like this is down the track, and not every day's perfect. But yeah, it's as I was doing some research there, I just found a whole lot of things on step parenting and that sort of thing. Like there's stepmother syndrome.
Stepmother syndrome.
So what it said was the
Is that like the
symptoms,
wicked stepmothers?
stigmas I'll get to. um So symptoms include preoccupation with position in the family,
Is
feelings
that so
of
they're feeling left out?
like they
Mhm.
don't know.
They don't know where they fit?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Um, dealing with anxiety and rejection, guilt, potentially hostility, and loss of
Mm,
self-esteem and that, which I
absolutely.
can see. I can
Imagine,
definitely see.
yeah. I mean, all you got to do is just watch a few, good old Netflix dramas
Mm,
and all those type of things, and you'll see the relationship play out where the child is not accepting of the stepmom,
hmm
and it's just this big argument, and no matter how much they try, they can't do it. A perfect example of the show is Virgin River.
hmm
If you've seen that, there's the parents break up and the new mother who happens to fall pregnant. She's pregnant at the same time. She tries to be in touch with the kids. The original mum, the bio mum, is just like, oh, I don't know about that, because there's a lot of hostility going around about how their breakup happened. But
Mm,
at the end of the day, she sort of said, I'm trying to love these kids and I'm not quite sure where I fit in. And one of the children ended up going through something quite tragic for them, and they ended up reaching out to the dad's new wife
mm.
instead of the actual biological mother. So there was all of that dynamic happening in
Yes.
the sense of, yeah, how do
Mm.
I do this and how do I navigate it?
Yes, because in a lot of the literature, so it sounds like those writers did good writing
It was actually very good.
because tips on being a good step parent is to be patient and
Mm,
understand that your role is potentially more of a babysitter or fun aunt
mm. That's
to
hard though.
be with them emotionally but not responsible for the choices that parents have to make for your children.
Mm. That's a really big line, isn't it? When you're living in
Mm.
the house and they're in the house with you
Mm-hmm.
and you're not responsible for any of the. So, how does
Or
discipline stick
discipline.
in? Like, how
Yeah.
does
Like
discipline come into
discipline is
that?
supposedly a big no-no that is to be left to the birth parent.
What happens if the birth parent's not home?
Exactly.
Like, over,
Yeah.
over here, we have a massive FIFO population, fly in, fly
Mm,
out. They're all at the mines, right? So, we have dads that are away and parents that can be, stepmom may be left home with children for up to 2 weeks at a time. How does that even work then if you have
mm,
to don't discipline the child? It's like, well, hang on a minute, you can't wait till dad comes home. You can't,
exactly.
I
Well,
mean,
I'm in step parent groups, so I see a lot of those, and then obviously people working with. And what I've seen for FIFO is like they can be away for 21 and they're back for 21.
mm,
Basically, especially in 50-50 custody cases, it's 21-day turnaround. So
okay.
one parent has for 21 days. Like
Yeah.
that's what I've seen, not all cases though. Like that's obviously a very understanding and
Yeah.
managing case.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
there'd
What
be
else
so
is on
many
your
cases.
list? What else
Um,
you got?
you don't have to love the child.
Oh, really?
There is a lot of literature that says it's okay if you don't love the
Mm.
child. And I
And
think especially those families that do nacho type parenting, this is those cases.
yeah,
Because but it's like, would you say that you love all of your friends' kids?
I don't know if I want to answer that. You incriminate me.
But it's like that. It's like you catch up with your friend and their
Mm.
kids are there. You don't necessarily have to like or love their
But
kids, but
it's
you are friends with that person.
an expectation, though, isn't it?
It is a societal
Yeah.
expectation, and it's actually a big no-no to say to a step parent, you should love that child.
Wow. There you go. That's a
Mm,
huge, big myth buster then.
I know. And within these groups, there's so much guilt and shame of,
because
I
they
feel like
don't.
I should love
No.
these kids. I am in totally and deeply and passionately in love with their father. He is my person, or she is my person. And but I can't, I've tried, but I can't.
Mm. I can see that.
Mm.
Can
And
see
at the
that,
end of the day, we're
especially,
human, and you can't make yourself love
yeah,
someone.
especially if that child and like you and your stepchild or
Mm.
bonus child, as you call them, are having a difficult relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't always say that then the child always loves the parent either,
Exactly.
because that doesn't happen.
And
So
that's
why do we put so much pressure on the parent then, the extra parent, to be having to love the child? So that
exactly.
definitely makes sense, but the guilt around that would be massive.
Mm-hmm.
Is it more for mums, like stepmums compared to stepdads? Do you know?
Yes.
It is, of course.
From
I'm not
from what I've
surprised.
seen and dealt with, definitely there's more guilt with the mum because we're expected to be more maternal.
Colonel, yes,
Mm. And then obviously this can also lead into your parental alienation.
yes, which is a big thing that is never talked about and is actually not recognised in this country, by the way.
Exactly. We were
So
talking about that the other
we
day, weren't
were
we?
parental alienation, where
Mm.
a parent will keep a child away from the other parent deliberately and not
Mm.
let them have contact.
And another form of it is to badmouth the other parent
Yes,
and their new spouse.
yes.
So, in order to skew the child's
Viewpoint,
beliefs and
yeah.
understandings and that sort of thing, which can then cause the child to act out and go, I'm not listening to you, you're not my mum, or be aggressive or just plain up disrespectful.
Yeah, and then how do you deal with that? I mean, if you're
Exactly.
that new parent and you've got the other one standing there bad mouthing you, and you're not meant to discipline the child now.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a big argument that we see, isn't it? Where we have these parents come in and it's just like, well, they're arguing about my child, and the child's putting stress unknowingly. It's not always manipulative.
It's not
Putting
always
stress on the
intentional.
parents. That's right. It's not always intentional. And the
Mm-hmm.
stress that they're trying to actually parent and how to work out how to have that
Mm.
conversation where one of the partners is being disrespected by the child
Mm.
for whatever reason it may be.
Yeah, it is a
Lots.
hard and mm.
Mm.
It
Okay, what else is
oh, there's so much. I don't think we could actually ever
go
cover
through
it
all that?
all.
No, a
Another
big
thing is
topic.
to avoid favoritism, especially
Oh,
when you've
that's
got
hard.
multiple kids.
That would be difficult.
Mm. Because I know there's times that favoritism can be shown on my part and my partner's. I mean, we're human. Usually favoritism is shown to the best behaved because they're the ones we're not tearing our hair out over.
Mm. But we do it even with our biological children.
Hmm.
Let's be honest.
Oh yeah,
Let's
I
let's
know I'm
normalize that
guilty
we
of
do
it.
it. We do it.
Hmm.
So it's not again intentional,
Hmm.
but
Oh, definitely not.
we do it.
Mm. Because
Yeah,
I really do love my stepkids. I can guarantee you I feel like tearing my hair out some weeks.
absolutely.
But I'm human. And I have my emotions in that, especially when I'm not being listened to or I'm being disrespected.
Of course.
And when it comes to discipline, for an example, in our household, if it's minor, I can remove from the situation and I can talk to the child and help calm them down and flatten it all out.
Yeah.
However, if it's a big thing and my partner's not there and he's at work, I'll make a phone call. How do you want me
Yeah.
to deal with this?
That's it.
Because sometimes it's a matter of, especially with my stepson, I don't always know how to deal with the boy.
Mm.
I'm like, okay, this is what I do with my children. And usually I go, I'm thinking this, and 99% of the time my partner will go, well, that's what I do anyway.
Yeah.
Because before we even thought about moving in together, these were conversations we had.
And you need to have these conversations.
Exactly.
Beforehand.
It always comes down to communication. Why does it always come down to communication and voicing your values, beliefs, and values and
comprehending the other person and what they're saying.
exactly.
Yes.
Every subject that we could possibly discuss on this, I feel like we're going to have you need to communicate
Absolutely.
every time.
We need to just jump through a couple more and then we need to wrap up because we're like nearly an hour.
Oh my goodness. Well, last one I'll do is we talked about boundaries last week, and boundaries are kind of getting trendy. Like everyone's talking about, oh, set your boundaries.
But do we even know what that means? We're going to have to do a whole episode on that.
And that's where I'm thinking we'll segue that.
We're going to have to do a whole episode on it. I'm writing a workbook on boundaries. I still haven't finished it.
Well, how about we touch on boundaries next week?
Yes.
And yeah. And also, I mean, step parenting, oh my God, it is so wide, it is so vast. Like, I've got pages here of information on it because this is my speciality, parenting and co-parenting. It's what I'm passionate about. It's what I love talking about. It's what I've done a lot of research on. So we'll probably touch on it a few times between here and whenever. But yeah, thank you for letting me share some of my knowledge base with you today, Kellie.
You're welcome, because it's not my speciality. It's not the area that I work in. So it is good to hear and be able to have an input. I could work in it if it came to me, but it's just not my it's not my ideal area. It's not my speciality. So
beautiful. And thank you for everyone who is listening. Please share your thoughts and feelings. And obviously, if anything hit close to home through our episode, please seek out professional support. Kellie and I are also available if absolutely necessary. Thank you, everyone. We'll sign off and we will see you next week. And bye.